What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Clearcryptos Education. My name is T. Hobbs from the Crypto Shop, and of course, I brought my man Jay Seals with me. What's going on, brother?
What's up, everyone? How you doing?
Hey, man, having a great day. But listen, guys, today we got a jam-packed session. Sometimes we like to bring you education. Sometimes we like to bring you updates. But today we got a special treat because we're going to be discussing the Clearcryptos Board of Advisors that we want to break down to you in a little bit more detail. Now, first and foremost, let's get right into the definition straight from Google. What is a board of advisors? I think this is important for investors because you need to understand that Clearcryptos is not just another token, another little coin that's out there. It's more than that. So, board of advisors, chosen by the shareholders. The primary job of the public company's board of directors is to look out for shareholders' interests. Now, this is regards to stocks, so just bear with us. In fact, directors are legally required to put shareholders' interests ahead of their own. Now, here's the big point. The board plays a supervisory role, overseeing corporate activities and assessing performance. Now, the key word that I like to key in here is supervisory role. So when you're creating a board of advisors for a crypto company, wouldn't it be important to put people in charge that have been in charge or been in positions of power before? So let's go ahead and dig into this board of advisors. So first on the list is my man, Cesar Baccarelli, sorry. And this gentleman, I've actually had the pleasure of meeting in person. Now, you can go through this and realize that he is the driver of the 45 car Chevrolet Camaro for the Alpha Prime racing team. But he's also a two-time GT3 champion, racing in Ferrari GT3 for Team Squadra Corse Garage in Italia. Barcella also races for the TR3 in Lamborghini Super Trofeo class. Now, the big key, and you're going to get this over and over, supervisor leadership roles. Caesar is also the owner of Alpha Prime Apparel, AP Regiment, and Everlast Construction, right? You don't get into that position unless you've been into that position, right? So moving forward, let's go ahead and move over to my man Jay Seals, and he can tell us about the Ambassador James P. Kane.
All right, so next we got the former United States Ambassador to Denmark, Ambassador James P. Kane. So he served as President and Chief Operating Officer of the Carolina Hurricanes of the National Hockey League. Yep, you heard that right, the NHL. And as a partner in the international law firm of Kilpatrick Townsend and Stockton, formerly Kilpatrick Stockton. So he was also an attorney at law as well as ambassador. And he was a part of the Carolina Hurricanes. So this man is well versed in a few different industries. And yeah, I mean, that's an amazing resume to have. And then next up, we've got Lieutenant General Edward C. Cardon. Now, both of us being military, we know what it takes to become a lieutenant general, and it's nothing to sniff at, okay? These guys go through crazy regiments of schooling, leadership, discipline, and all these other wickets that they need to hit just to get to this point, and it's a major achievement. But Lieutenant General Cardon has commanded at every level from company through Army service components. Down below, it's got some of the commands that he's led at, and that's a ton of commands, as well as having a wartime command as well. So a highly decorated officer in the United States Army.
Yep. And then again, the theme here is leadership. If you want to put people in place in regards to being a board of advisors, you want to pick people who have resumes of being leaders. Thus far, you've seen how far we come. Now, we look into Martin Fuentes, race car driver, yet another race car driver. Now, he's also a Mexican pilot who currently involved with the car number 7 into PC category and as a part of the team, Starworks Motorsports in the Tudor United States Sports Car Championship. I dug a little deeper into his actual resume, and it come to find out he's actually one of the top paid, right? One of the top earning race car drivers in Mexico. So like, in order to be in that position, you have to work hard, right? You have to be a leader, and he's definitely been able to do that. So you can read a little bit further into the things that he's done, but to make this video not too long, we're going to continue. We go into Mr. Chris Hodgson, right? Hodgson. Chris Hodgson is joined Cornerstone Federal Government Relationships team as a principal in March 2021. Chris brings extensive knowledge of legislative process and relationships spanning the U.S. House and the Senate. Now, think about that. If you are going into a crypto place where you're looking to deal with regulation, wouldn't you want to have somebody that's versed in bipartisanship, i.e., they have relations with the House and the Senate, as well as the executive branch? And Chris brings all that to the table because he worked in those branches and on Capitol Hill in the office of Vice President Mike Pence. So it's very, very recent. He was also the top liaison to the president as the vice president's top liaison to Congress. And Chris managed relationships with the House and Senate leadership congressional committee. So when you're looking at that leadership, just continue on and let's move on to the artist of the group.
All right, so next is Michael Pierre Price. It's really funny because my wife and I were going through the board of advisors. She knows nothing about crypto, but as we were going through, she stopped at Michael because he's a little different than the rest. However, he's just as qualified as everybody else on this board. After starting to earn a PhD in theoretical astrophysics, which I mean, I'm just blown away at reading that alone. Astrophysics is insane. Yeah. But at the University of Toledo, Price decided not to pursue academia and went into tabletop gaming design in the early 1980s for a company that made a little known game that became a huge known game called Dungeons and Dragons. And if you haven't seen what's that show on Netflix, the one that everybody talks about, the one that
Game of Thrones? I don't know.
Not Game of Thrones. It's Stranger Things. Yeah, Stranger Things adopted Dungeons and Dragons. So just remember, this game is huge. But yeah, he also spent 30 years developing toys and games. So just awesome. We looked at his artwork. His artwork is amazing. And then next we have Juan A. Pujadas. This guy right here, Juan, we got to meet him as well. Very nice gentleman. And my God, digging into what he has accomplished is just amazing. So Mr. Pujadas is a retired principal of PriceWaterhouseCoopers LLP and served as vice chairman, global advisory services of PriceWaterhouseCoopers International Limited from 2008 to 2016 and leader of PwC's U.S. firm advisory practice from 2003 to 2009.
See, you can't just say all of that without telling the people exactly what PriceWaterhouseCoopers is. So
go ahead.
Let me just switch over here because we did a quick Google search and said, okay, what is PriceWaterhouseCoopers? Because people need to know these things, right? Provides professional services. The company offers business advisory services such as auditing, accounting, taxation. Sound familiar if you're familiar with crypto, right? Strategy management and human resource consulting services. But that's not even the big part. This particular company, the other company that he was ahead of, is the second largest professional services network in the world, not in the country, not in the state, but in the world, and is considered one of the big four accounting firms. So when you're talking about making sure that your accounting is on point, your taxation is on point, and you're doing things the right way, your strategy is on point, and the auditing is good, you got the right guy in Mr. Juan.
Wait, House. Before you go back for a second. Before you go on, no I just want to let y'all know the revenue for PwC is $45.14 billion with 295,000 employees. So when you talk about a big company, it doesn't get much bigger than the second largest professional services network in the world. So,
and he was the vice chairman as well as on the advisory board of the other company. So let's move on to Mr. Mike Smith. Now, principal and director of Cornerstone Government Affairs. As principal and director of Cornerstone Government Affairs, Mike advises a broad array of nonprofit, corporate, and tribal entities on a wide range of issues. Notice the word advisor continuously being used. Before the federal government, including education, healthcare, aviation, rail, tax, technology, international relationships, Native American budget and appropriations matters. Prior to joining Cornerstone, Mike spent 3 years as a partner in the governmental affairs section of a leading international law firm where he focused his lobbying efforts on legislative, executive agencies, and regulatory issues. The key word in this sentence being regulatory issues. Guys, we are entering in an era in the crypto where we all know regulation is coming. And if you want to be ahead of the game, you got to get people on your board that know the game. And this guy knows the game. Now, let's go into Mr. Dan Solomon, President and Chief of Olympia, President and Chief Olympia Officer. Now, this gentleman was very, very impressive because it says he's widely regarded as one of the most influential members of the bodybuilding and fitness industry. Don Solomon has helped shape the way fans follow their passion while creating opportunities for countless men and women who aspire to maximize their genetic potential. Now, Dan began working closely with many of the biggest brands in the industry. He has served as an editor for some of the category's top publications, eventually securing a role as the executive producer of the movie Bigger, the biggest budgeted movie in the history of bodybuilding. Now, this movie you might not have heard of, but when I did my research into the movie, this guy right here, Callum Van Monger, he has a autobiography on Netflix that he talks about this movie, and he actually played Arnold Schwarzenegger in. But Kevin Durant, I've definitely seen him in some pretty good movies, but Tom Arnold, very big star, and this guy was one of the executive producers on this movie, which was the highest, it had the highest budget or the highest grossing movie in the industry of bodybuilding. So again, yet another accolade of leadership and responsibility at a high level.
And last but not least, we got to bring in the heavy hitter, Chris Swecker, FBI Assistant Director, retired, also an attorney, financial crimes and security consultant, public speaking and commentary expert witness. So Chris Swecker was an attorney and law enforcement officer who served as an assistant director of the FBI for Criminal Investigative Division from 2004 to 2006. I mean, that's basically one of the highest positions in the land besides president. I mean, he's pretty much keeping you and I safe at home. He made some pretty big accomplishments while he was in the FBI, but he served the FBI for 24 years, and he was in charge of the North Carolina operations where he managed to capture Eric Rudolph after the Centennial Olympic Park bombing and dismantling the Hezbollah terror cell. So, I mean, that's impressive to say the least. And again, another leader and somebody who is very established on this esteemed board of advisors for Clearcryptos.
Yeah, I mean, I apologize for the long-winded video, guys, but you got to understand, to jam this board of advisors into a 2 to 3 minute video would be doing it an absolute disservice. So what we wanted to do was take an opportunity to really deep dive into the board of advisors and make sure the investors out there know when Clearcryptos launches, they're going to have a very strong backbone based off their board of advisors that we see here. You can do your own research. I encourage you to do your own research and just do a quick Google search or dig even deeper into these guys' past and find out that basically this entire board has a net worth of over $100 million, right? When you combine all of their net worth, it's over 100 million, and they would not be playing in the crypto space unless they knew that it was a sure home run hitter. And that's how I feel about Clearcryptos. That being said, guys, we're going to cut this video here now because we're at about 14 minutes, and I do apologize for being long-winded. But guys, make sure you watch this video to the end. If you did, please make sure you hit like and subscribe, turn the notification bells on, and don't forget, join the Discord for Clearcryptos because we'll be waiting for you over there. From the Clearcryptos education channel, my name is T. Hobbs. That guy up above is Jay Seals, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.